Have you ever felt invisible in a space where you're meant to feel seen? Maybe you've been even paid to be seen, and yet you still feel invisible. You can still feel yourself shrinking. I felt really called to come in here and speak to this because so often in the coaching industry, in the self-help personal development, spiritual development world and transformational space is what happens when, we're online. It's everywhere. We are literally surrounded by messaging that reinforce us, that make us feel invisible, that make us feel unsafe, that make us shrink and want to and want to be small. And this is the thing that I think is really important that we really begin to understand is that it's not you. It's not you. You've done nothing wrong. And these messages are missing one core understanding. And that is how in this industry, whether it be coaching, personal development, self-help, spirituality, transformation, is sometimes the industry people, coaches, are perpetuating this feeling, enabling people to feel invisible, to feel like they're doing something wrong. Because all the messaging says, I did this, I did this. And if you want to lose weight, if you haven't lost weight, then you're doing something wrong. If you want to earn this amount of money and you're not, then you're doing something wrong. And if you're not being seen, then you're doing something wrong. Literally everything. And then you walk in and then you pay to get into the containers. And then these containers say that it's your fear. What is that saying about you? Your fear, your responsibility, your projection, your story, your belief. You're still wrong, right? And so what happens is we shrink a little bit more and we shrink a little bit more and we shrink a little bit more and we feel invisible. So when we feel invisible, unconsciously or consciously, is we begin to show up in the world pretending, performing, pretending that we're okay, that we've got our shit together, that we know what we're doing, right? We do what people tell us to do. And the undercurrent that is inside of us, that underbelly of what's happening and what that story is really saying and what we're really feeling, that currency that's moving through our body is actually saying, I don't believe in me. Why does this keep happening? Why can't I get my shit together? Why am I still here? How am I still here? Right? And we spend literally billions and billions of dollars to tell us how to fix, how to bypass, how to get to where we think we want to go, right? To experience this life that we think that we want to experience, we feel that we want to experience. And so, what I think we first need to understand is creating safety in spaces to feel, right? So, if you're noticing yourself in spaces whereby you're beginning to shrink and the room is feeling smaller and you don't feel like you can articulate your brilliance and your truth and your flaws and your fuck ups, then it's not you. It's not you. No matter how many likes, comments, followers, They have how much money they've got in the bank. It does not matter. Tuning in and listening to your bodily response and how you react and feel in these spaces is that if they're making you feel like you're wrong, then that's not on you. That's not on you. And I think it's really important that we begin to have this conversation and we begin to be aware of just how toxic this is. Because if we're not, we're just going to perpetuate the problem, right? And what it does, the only thing that it does is it creates more unsafety in the body, right? It creates more manipulative messaging. It creates more spiritual bypassing. It creates more cookie cutter solutions, right? That don't actually hold nuance or complexity. And I think that this is where it feeds into feeling burnout. So the burnout isn't from overwork, it's from the overperformance, right? It's that numbing and dimming our depth, right? I think that burnout happens when we haven't created a space that is built on our brilliance, right? And creating safety for us to stop being gaslit into self-doubt. I think that all of these things really matter. And I think that you matter. I think that getting really honest and taking responsibility for our energy in the room and how we feel inside rooms, around people, around, the realism that we need to start injecting into these spaces. There's a bright light coming and I'm trying to avoid it. So, what else do I want to say to that? You feeling invisible and shrinking and being small, feeling underexpressed is not about you. What we can do is create more realism in spaces whereby we stop trying to hover, we stop trying to bypass, we stop trying to fake this reality for ourselves, because the truth is what we're seeing is just a small portion of who these people are, of what the worlds that they're projecting and what they're speaking about. And so I think that how we relate to people and how they make us feel in their spaces matter. And something that I learnt from the Celestine prophecy many, many years ago, probably about over 20 years ago, now probably about 25 years ago, is the law of service. And I am not above you or below you, but we are together in this journey. And the truth is we've built an industry that has thrived off the guru status, that has thrived off hierarchy, that has thrived off us pedestaling other people. And if you just think about that from an energy perspective, if we pedestal someone, if we make someone bigger, more important than us, then we are automatically, energetically making ourselves small. And so this is why in my spaces is I'm all about we are together in this journey. We create spaces where it is power shared, and I'm not coming in on a pedestal, because as soon as I make myself bigger or I put myself on a pedestal, I'm creating separation between you and I. I am creating an energetic blueprint or a field that says, I'm bigger, and therefore you're less. And that serves no one. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve me. And that is the exact thing that we need to begin to change. No more pedestaling, no more hierarchy, no more guru, no more influences. Real. Show me what is real. Give me what is real. Speak to me like I am real, right? And taking responsibility and really beginning to notice our bodily sensations of how we feel in those spaces. And this has to be the new currency. This has to be the new ecosystem of how we move and how we experience, how we journey, how we share, how we connect, how we serve moving forward. It's a really important conversation that we need to have, and we need to continue to have it. But more importantly, we need to act, and we need to do, and we need to share what is real. And so, just the invitation here is to really begin to notice. Notice the bodily sensations. Notice what's happening inside the body. Noticing where you automatically want to be small. Noticing when someone else wants to energetically be big, right? It's not you. You're not the problem. You're not broken. Let's stop the gaslighting. Let's stop the spiritual bypassing. Let's stop hovering. Let's stop trying to fix this, because how we move into overflow, how we move into this new ecosystem, one that is built on a currency whereby we all win, has to be built on realism. We have to demand better for ourselves and demand better for the industry, demand better for the space, demand better for the world. Because that is the only sustainable way we move forward. And that is the only way that is really built on unconditional love, which is divinity. I hope that helps. I hope that has planted a nectar and seed of magic inside that beautiful mind, inside that beautiful body. That is me, over and out. I am Renee Main, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.